Tracy Austin, it's a pleasure. Thank you for joining us on USTA.com. How have you seen Wimbledon 2011? Do you think it's been a good one so far? Have you enjoyed it?
I have. There's a few matches that stand out to me. Actually, Kimiko Date, Venus Williams, that match was just phenomenal because we saw different tennis from Kimiko Date. The Li Na Lisicki match I thought was terrific as well. Actually, I covered the Del Potro Nadal match on center court for radio. That was exciting. So, you know, I really have enjoyed it, and I really thought on the men's side we were going to see the top four, so I was disappointed that Federer lost early. On the women's side, it's really, I think, a changing of the guard with Kleister's out with injury. Venus and Serena just not enough matches under their belt to come through. I think if they had maybe one or two more tournaments, they would have been fine. They would have been match tough enough. And so therefore we have three 21-year-olds in the semifinals and Maria Sharapova at 24, the veteran. It's
pretty amazing, isn't it? Because more recent majors, the old ladies, if we call them that, have been the ones dominating. And suddenly we've gone back to a few years ago where the young ones have dominated this Wimbledon.
Well, Maria Sharapova got to the semifinals of the French, and she was the youngest semifinalist. Now here, she's the oldest semifinalist by 3 years. So it really, in a span of a month, it was quite a big difference. And to me, that just shows that you know, people are coming into their own or in their early 20s, and they can also be at their best, like Schiavone and Li Na in their late 20s. So, you know, hang in there wherever you are out there on the tour, because you never know when you're going to peak.
Tracy, how much do you enjoy the commentary? And you said you've done some radio now. So, what do you prefer, the TV or the radio? Actually,
I love both. I mean, they're just so different. It's tough to compare because obviously the TV, everything speaks for itself. The pictures, you know, you don't need too many words. Whereas the radio, you have to be very descriptive. And you know, someone's driving around in their car and they can't see that nice passing shot, so you have to be a little bit more descriptive of what's happening and how the players are feeling. So I actually really enjoy it. And I love working with BBC. They're very relaxed. I love the crew that I work with. So it's a wonderful fortnight for me.
But you're pretty busy over here because not only are you doing that commentary, but you're also out on the courts playing, can I just say it, old ladies tennis?
Well, it's very demanding because, you know, if the TV's not enough, it's long hours. Today I got done with the first semifinal. It was 3:15, and I was on court at 4. I hadn't eaten since 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get a warm-up. I barely got my clothes on, a little bit of my makeup off before I had to go out and play. So it is tough. And it, you know, for the most part, it's fun, but sometimes it's a little stressful when you have to be in that much of a rush before you play in front of all those people.
When you're playing with the ladies from the era of your playing day and playing with and against them now, is it almost as competitive as it was years ago?
No, not even close, not even close. And what's happening, though, is obviously I'm starting to play with players that were not from my playing days, where they're getting younger and younger. I mean, Martina Hingis is playing in this event, and it was before 35 and over. Well, Martina Hingis is 30, so the name of the event has now been changed, and I don't know, senior ladies doubles instead of 35 and over. And she really is playing well enough to play on the main tour, and she's playing with Lindsay Davenport, so that's a very tough team.
What about other parts of Wimbledon? Have you had a chance to cast your eye on the juniors?
Actually, I haven't. I haven't seen them play, but obviously working with the USTA, I have been paying attention to how they've been doing. Gabby Andrews works at Carson a little bit, so I was curious to see how she did. So when I was actually on that Del Potro Nadal match, my eye was also on the monitor and seeing that she was losing in that third set and eventually lost, which I gotta say I was very surprised because I'm pretty high on Gabby Andrews. Also on Madison Keys. I guess Madison was up in the third set and lost in a tight 3-setter. So that's a little disappointing, but the key is they're getting international experience, and that's really what's so important.
What about Victoria Duval, who's through to the quarterfinals of this Wimbledon?
She's a little older, so I think she's had a little more experience, and that's fantastic. You know, I think that's what you need, and you need to get out there and compete against, hopefully, what you're going to be competing against later in the ladies.
And then just sort of getting back to the main draw of the ladies, Venus and Serena making that comeback. I think a lot of people expected them to be in the final, and it didn't happen. Were you surprised at the way the attention focused on them and the expectations on them to be in the final after so long out?
Yeah, absolutely not, because we've seen that they've been out before and they've pulled these Houdini acts where they come back and play so well right away. First of all, because look at their record here. Serena, 4-time champion, Venus, 5-time champion, and the only other champion in the draw was Maria Sharapova, 1-time champion. So I think it was right that we had a lot of focus on Venus and Serena. You know that they play so well on this surface, and you know that they just need a little bit of time on court, few matches before they get up to snuff. I really think that Serena, if she had won that second set tiebreak against Bartoli, or as they call her here, Bartoli, we call it in the States Bartoli, that she would have won that third set. She just got so tight, and she just didn't have enough matches under her belt to really drive through the ball. That second set was too passive, and that's not the way Serena plays her best tennis.
Just last couple of questions. When you played, you were just so mentally tough on the court. How do you think you would have matched it with some of the girls that are around now?
Well, I think my mental toughness was right up there. I mean, that's a lot of the reason why I won is, you know, because I was so mentally tough, stayed in the moment, nothing seemed to bother me, and it's funny because you know that when you now start to go play and you're in a tiebreaker and you know you had opportunities, and I just finished one, and all I could think about was the missed opportunities that I had 3 points ago, and that never happened before. In fact, it's funny because I recently watched the final of the 81 U.S. Open against Navratilova, and I mean, that's a long time ago, and I never knew that I had match points that I didn't win before I finally won later.
Really?
And I never even knew that. And so obviously I was playing point to point, and that's what's so important, and it's so difficult. I mean, even just now I was out there serving, I'm still thinking, oh, about 3 points ago I could have done this. And I'm thinking, I got a new point here. I got to concentrate. So it's very difficult. It's something that you can work on. We've seen Vika Azarenka work on that. I mean, even though she lost today, she didn't make a peep. She wasn't negative, so she's going in the right direction. And so yeah, the quick answer to that is yes. I think mentally tough, I could match up with anybody in today's game.
And what's for you after Wimbledon's done?
Wow, summer vacation. You know, spending time with my kids and just enjoying myself. I mean, this is a lot of work over here. It's a lot of time to be away from my family, so I can't wait to go back home. And 3 boys, 15, 13, and 10. You know, my 10-year-old's in All-Stars in baseball. I hope he's still in by the time I get back and can see some of his games because I've missed all of them. And just tennis for the other 2 and just enjoying my family.
Tracy Austin, thanks for being with us on USTA.com.
Thank you.